This is the Kimber CDS9 with a threaded barrel. Several months ago, Kimber flew me and a bunch of other content creators out to secretly unveil their new line of firearms. The CDS9 was one of them. And of all the guns I shot that day, this one was my least favorite. Not because it was a bad gun. It was because of what I had shot right before it. I had just finished shooting Kimber's new 2K11, which is this high-speed, low-drag, double-stack 1911 style pistol that barely recoiled, had a phenomenal trigger, and looked like it belonged in the hands of a billionaire secret agent. Shooting that thing felt like riding in a Rolls-Royce Ghost. Silky smooth, effortless, pure, mechanical excellence. And then immediately after, I'm handed this. That switch up hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like hopping out of a Rolls Royce into a 911 GT3 mid-race with no warning. My perspective was completely wrecked. I wasn't ready for the contrast. So, in that moment, the CDS9 just felt meh. But fast forward to now, when I finally got my own and I spent time with it on its own terms. No distractions, no 2K11 sitting there making everything else look so second rate. And that's when I realized I was so wrong about this gun. A lot of people are calling this a micro 1911. I don't call it that. Sure, it has a 1911 shape, but to me, if it doesn't have a grip safety, it's not a 1911. Sue me. Does that really make sense? No, but that's just how my brain works. What it really is to me is a micro double stack single action hammer fired pistol with a manual safety chambered in 9mm, which sounds like a double stack 1911. But like again, sue me. So this thing holds 10 rounds with the flush fit magazine, 13 with an extended magazine, and 15 with the biggest magazine, which by the way, isn't even that big. And that is insane. A Glock 19 holds 15 rounds, and that thing is the size of a middle school science project compared to this gun. Just a few years ago, a gun this small would have held maybe 7 rounds. Now we've got guns the size of a pack of Pop-Tarts carrying as much ammo as a full-size duty pistol. That technology leap in carry guns over the last 5 years has been borderline science fiction. Now, before I get into that, let's talk about something that'll keep you up at night. You know what's worse than someone trying to steal your gun? Someone trying to steal your entire house. It sounds insane, right? But according to the FBI, house stealing is a real thing. And no, I'm not talking about some guy dragging your house off in its foundation like a trailer park Fast and Furious stunt. This is cyber criminals using a one-page document to steal your home's title and take out loans against it or even sell it without you ever knowing. And when you do find out, it's not when it happens, it's not when they file the paperwork. You find out when some bank starts sending foreclosure notices to your mailbox. And by then, good luck. House alarms, doorbell cameras, and deadbolts won't do anything against this scam. One of the only things that can protect you is triple lock protection from Home Title Lock. They monitor your title 24/7, send you alerts the second something changes, and if the worst happens, they have restoration services at no out-of-pocket cost to you. I don't know about you, but I check my home title about as often as I check my MySpace. And that's exactly what these scammers are counting on. But here's what you can do. Get a free title history report and a 30-day free trial of triple lock protection today by going to HometitleLock.com and using our promo code Noir30, or just click the link in the description section. That's HometitleLock.com or promo code Noir30, because if someone's gonna own your home, it better be you. Now, on paper, this is a deep concealment gun. It's designed for people who either can't carry something bigger due to wardrobe constraints or just want the smallest, highest capacity hammer-fired single action pistol they can get. That makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is how this gun refuses to be limited by that label. The name CDS9 stands for covert double stack 9mm, but that barely scratches the surface of what this thing can do. The trigger is what makes this gun. There's barely any take-up, no weird mush, no unnecessary creep, just a crisp, deliberate wall, and then a clean break that feels almost effortless. It's light, but not too light. It's deliberate, but not too stiff. It's one of those triggers that disappears the second you start shooting, which is exactly what you want. But the real magic here is how naturally this gun points in your hand. That red fiber optic front sight, it screams at you the second you punch out. There's no hesitation, no second guessing your sight picture. It's like the gun locks onto the target before your brain even registers it. And for a gun this small, that is massive. Because when you're carrying something like this, you're not lining up precision shots at 50 yards. You're drawing, presenting, and firing in a fraction of a second. The more intuitive that process is, the better. And this gun has that process lined. This gun just points. I wasn't even really excited to shoot this thing when I first got it. Small guns tend to be snappy and jumpy and a little obnoxious to run. But this one was different. The recoil is surprisingly manageable. The ergonomics make shooting feel a lot more natural than I expected. It's small, but it doesn't fight you the way other guns in this category sometimes do. Up close, this thing is ridiculously fast. Running build drills, emergency reloads, and control pairs, the gun just keeps up. It's like a little attack dog, aggressive and quick and all business. At distance, it still holds its own. Now, I wouldn't grab this thing for a 50-yard pistol match, but if I had to take a 15 to 25-yard shot in self-defense scenario, I feel totally confident doing it. Where you start to feel the size limitations on this gun, however, is on longer streams of fire. Now, when I say longer strings of fire, I'm talking less than 7 or 8. For the first 4 or 5 rounds, this thing is effortlessly fast. But if you try to mag dump the entire thing, you start to notice the gun's weight and size working against you. It's not that you can't do it. The gun can clearly mag dump. But what I'm getting at is to effortlessly mag dump to the same degree that you can shoot 5 to 7 rounds with this gun. That's kind of where you start to notice the limitations of its size. But again, from 0 to about 8 rounds of just rapid fire, How? Like I said before, and I'll say it again for the 3rd time, when I first shot the CDS9, I wrote it off. I was too caught up with the 2K11 experience to see it for what it really was. Now, don't get me wrong, that 2K11 is fire. But now that I've actually spent time with the CDS9, I get it. This thing is an excellent deep carry option that gives you the benefit of a hammer-fired single-action gun in a package that's actually practical to carry. The trigger is phenomenal. The pointability is instant, and the size to capacity ratio is absurd in the best way possible. So yeah, Kimber, you got me. I was wrong about this gun, and I'm glad I was. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go figure out what suppressor I'm gonna go throw on this threaded barrel. One thing's for certain and 2 things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.